Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Student Entrepreneur Podcast. We have an amazing episode for you today. You're going to like it, especially this one is for the ladies. We decided to do something specially for the ladies, but if you're a guy, don't feel shy. Wow, I rhymed. If you're a guy, don't feel shy, be inspired, keep moving. We met with the amazing Natasha. She is the CEO of Midas Touch. Now, I don't want to run ahead, right, and reveal everything that's in the episode before you listen to it, but there is this hashtag that I came across on Instagram, Boss Babe. Now, Natasha is the definition of that. I mean, she's doing so many amazing things and she's doing all of them effortlessly, you know. So anyway, let me calm down. Let me just calm myself down and you guys listen to this. Let us know what you think. And by the way, I mean, 4,000 followers on Facebook in just a month, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of those that are following, all those that are liking, all those that are sharing. Thank you. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Let's go to the episode. So, Natasha, welcome to the podcast. And
okay, thank you very much.
I think you can hear the excitement in my voice. I have just made a very serious confession to you.
Yes.
Of how, though I am not a consumer of your product, right, and your services, so I know, but I've said I've been following you for several years. It was very interesting for me to see how you have grown and how everything has really blown up since the beginning. Mm-hmm. So yes, tell us about not so most of the people who are listening to this episode probably have not been doing the weird thing of following you that I've been doing. So maybe
they all need to do it. They all need to do it.
They should now that now they're going to have a reason to. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? Where are you from? And what are you doing now?
Okay. So my name is Natasha Kabondo, and I'm from Zambia, Lusaka, Zambia. Mm-hmm. And basically, I have been in Russia here now for 5 years. Mm-hmm. I learned at Belgrade State Technological University. So I'll be graduating, I think, hopefully July or June. I'm not really sure.
This year?
Yeah, this year, 2018. And I'm studying mechanical engineering. Uh-huh. And I'm also an entrepreneur on the side. Okay, so I went to school in Lusaka, Zambia. Okay. Where I got a scholarship to come to Russia, Belgrade. Uh-huh. I'm in Belgrade city here in Russia. Okay. I came here 5 years ago, so that's 2013. Okay. September. All right. Okay, so after I completed my high school, I wanted to study economics, or rather banking and finance, something related to
money,
the corporate world. Yeah, money.
Okay.
It has always been a dream, like from 5th grade. I wanted to study economics, banking and finance, or something related to marketing or corporate world.
All right, wait. Just break this down for me, right? How does somebody just start dreaming of banking and finance? How do you get to that point of,
Okay, so when I was in 5th grade, 5th level rather, I wonder how other people call it, but in Zambia we call it grade. We have grades like 5th grade. Okay. I had this teacher who used to call me professor. Mm-hmm. Because he thought I was so smart with mathematics, and so he actually used to call me that. So one day I actually told my mother about it. Mm-hmm. So she was like, you could be the governor of this country, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, African mothers do that. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what does it take for somebody to become the governor of the country? She's like, you work at the bank, the bank of the country, like the Bank of Zambia, which is like the main bank of the country. the biggest bank actually. So from then I started thinking, I'm like, every time I would go to a bank, I would imagine myself working there or just being part of the team, trying to understand how everything works in a bank. So as I grew up, I started to love it even more. So when I went to secondary school, I studied some accounting and something that's related to bookkeeping, like accounts and finance courses. So in the long run, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it, and I still love it. And after some years, I realized that it's a very crowded field.
Crowded in your country?
Yes, in my country, it was a very crowded field. For one to actually get a job, you would actually have to like struggle through. So I started looking for other options, even if it wasn't my first option.
Okay.
But because after high school, like before coming to university, right, I had many other options, but my first option was the bank structure. I just wanted that. But
well, because it was your first love, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I couldn't go to university to study it because I received a scholarship. So it was a situation of where you pay money to go to university, or you go to free university and you do something else that's a bit not crowded, but it's like valuable. You know what I mean? So I decided to apply for engineering and I got accepted. So I felt like maybe my destiny, I wasn't destined to be a banker or something, because I wondered why I had a dream for so long, but it never worked out. You understand? So I complained to many people, many friends, many family members that I didn't like the engineering thing in the beginning, you know. It would be something that I would go to school because I have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that very, very well.
Yeah, so it was a thing of I have to go to school, but I'm not I'm very smart actually. For just disclaimer.
Well, I'm very humble apparently.
Okay, so it wasn't a thing of where I wouldn't understand things. I would understand everything. But it was about passion.
Okay, so you come from wanting to be a bank governor who's going to become a country president that is going to have a lot of money and know a lot of economics, to getting a scholarship in doing engineering, right? And ending up in the Russian Federation.
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about the first time you stepped foot in the Russian Federation and you realized, okay, this engineering thing is happening, right? Regardless of how much I dislike it. How did you feel and what were you thinking at that time?
Okay, so basically how it was it was like this. I have a very good support system, like my friends, the people that I came with, right? These are all people that, for me in high school, I didn't have these technical subjects, you see. I studied subjects that were related to the corporate world, more like finance, accounting, and all that. So I was very lucky actually to have friends that had studied the technical subject. So for me, I thought when I got here, I thought, oh no, like I'm going to fail. I thought that, you know, because I was in the middle of I'm going to make it because I can, and oh no, I don't know what to do. Like I can't. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
So when I came here, my first impression, you know, because of the language year, right? The first year, which is used for language. It was a smooth ride, but I had one challenge. My biggest challenge was engineering drawing. I didn't do that in high school, and everybody, all my friends, did it. So sometimes, you know, when you're asking for help from somebody, you don't expect them to. They would help you, but to a certain extent.
Yep.
It won't go all the way. till the end. You understand, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, I found that very, very challenging because I wouldn't know what to do. Like, this person has helped me, but then not to the fullest. Or maybe I wouldn't understand. I would actually have to go back. But in the long run, I actually started to get it. So in the beginning, it was a challenge within a challenge. I don't know if you understand.
I understand you perfectly because as I'm sitting here, it's almost like you're describing stories of people that I really know. So I do get you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a challenge, of course. And unfortunately, in my first year of being here, when I left home, I lost my mother. So my mother passed away in the same year I came here for school. So it was like a very, very difficult moment for me because I was thinking, I'm here studying something that I don't like. So why not just go back home and be with my family in this difficult moment? You understand?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I decided to travel back home, like for like a December holiday. You know that holiday that we usually have here in the New Year, right? Yeah, I decided to travel back home. So when I was at home, I was thinking, I'm like, I'm not going back. I'm staying here. I'm staying here. I'm not going to go back to Russia because, like, you know, sometimes you need like a certain kind of push from your parents.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you need that thing. You need somebody to cheer you on. Like you can't do it on your own, especially in this country. It's like so difficult to learn as a foreigner. Like you have to know the language, etc., etc., etc.
Or a beating. Some
So
parents prefer like using the stick, the biblical way. So yeah.
yeah, of course. But as for me, the way I was raised, actually, it was all up to me because I did them a favor in a way. You understand? Like I decided to get a scholarship to lessen the burden of university fees and all that. So I thought, like, let me cut down on some costs. So let me try this, and it had how can I explain? Like they obviously get the good students of the country. So it's a prestigious thing to actually have a scholarship.
The scholarship. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, let me go for it. Let me do it. And I think it went on well. And it
All right.
was
So
all right.
when you went back home for that holiday, what you just by yourself reached that point in thought to say, you know what, let me just go do it, or were there some external factors, or something that pushed you back towards that direction? Was there something in particular, or?
Okay, so what pushed me exactly was talks from friends and not talks from my father or my family. My father told me, like, it's up to you. Like, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, it's all right. But my friends were like, how do you start something and you don't finish
You
it?
don't finish it.
Yeah. So it was that thing of you think that you're a coward. I hate starting things that I can't finish, Like, if I started it, there's a reason why I started in the beginning. So I must finish it the same way I started it. So the external factors really were mostly from friends, of which I appreciate. They actually gave me support. They told me that we started this together, so let's finish it. Let's run this race. We started. So we were only actually like 5 months in, and this was just the beginning. This was the preparatory course. So we hadn't done any engineering yet. We were just learning Russian language and some subjects here and there. So I felt like, well, they have a point. Like, I was actually an adult. I could reason, but it was that thing of where, like, you're trying to be a kid and you're trying to think that, no, maybe this and that. And it's actually good that it happened the way it happened because my family was going to be like, no, just come back home and all that because they want to give me what I want.
Exactly.
But at the end of it, it's not all about that. I should be challenged to a certain extent,
Okay,
So
I'm really, if you could see me now, I'm dying to know how you come from that to now starting this for us who watch from where we watch from, it looks like something really huge. From Midas Touch, right? So how do you
Yeah.
come from hating what you're strongly disliking what you're studying
Okay.
to now making just making something else that is so much better out of that whole situation? How do you
Okay.
get to that? I'm trying to imagine, but my brain just can't get it.
Well, it's a challenge. As I said, it was a challenge, but it always gets better with time. Entrepreneurship is a challenge, but so rewarding at the end of it all. So, you also have to get the positives or the good things out of a bad situation. Like initially, if misfortune happens or if something bad happens, it's for a reason. At the end of it all, I believe so. Actually, I actually live to that. Like, I understand. I've lived it, and I can actually testify to it to say that that's what happens. Like, there's always something at the end of it all. Like, in the moment, you can't see the good side because everything is just clouded by bad things happening and all that. But in the long run, you get to understand that it's for a purpose. Yeah. So I think that even when we go through situations, it's best that we go through that process, we allow it to happen, and wait for the next stage. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So I've noticed that though we have not even been talking for that long, but you keep mentioning your friends and your support system. So
Uh-huh.
is that what led you to really go into entrepreneurship, to start a business? How did you start this?
Okay.
Did you start it back in Zambia, or did you start it
No,
in
no, no,
Russia,
no, no, no,
or
no, no. Right here in Russia.
really?
it's
Wow. So
it's
where did
actually
the
a
idea
funny
come from?
story. Okay, so one time I was preparing for my birthday. So I have some friends in China who were able to send me stuff. And for some people, that's very challenging. Like, many people just buy things online. But then if you have, like, friends in the world all over, you can get anything you need, So, I was thinking about it for a very long time. From the very first time I came back, when I came back from home in that December holiday I told you about, I decided to bring some things to sell. But it was just like for the sake of having some extra pocket money. So
wait, had you ever sold anything before that time?
No.
So
that was the first time.
Okay, so the day, I'm really interested in the day, like, you woke up, right? And this idea dropped in your head that, you know what, I need to take things to Russia to sell. Like, how did you wake up, like, on a certain side of the bed, and the idea, like, how did that happen?
Okay, so how it happened was, if you're a foreigner in any country, you always lack some products. So I saw that gap. I just woke up and I'm like, I know that people need these things, but for the sake of, if I approach them, I might have a negative feedback, and I'll feel discouraged. So I said to myself, I'm like, no, I'll just buy it. Even if nobody buys it, it will be for myself. So that day, I decided to actually go to the shop, like around town. The markets in African countries and all that. You really have to search deep to find some good stuff.
It's
and
true.
cheap
That
stuff.
is true. That is
So
very
that
true.
day, my dad had given me some pocket money. So I decided to go around. I actually found a lot of things. I was so overwhelmed. I'm like, my business is going to be big.
Yeah, that initial excitement. And
Yeah, but unfortunately, when I came back, it wasn't. High expectations are very bad. The demand wasn't so much. But I knew that people needed these things, but because of, sometimes they'll support you, but you have to push them to support you. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, and maybe I think I just didn't approach the right people. So I felt discouraged. I'm like, this can't work. Because people are always going home for summer, so they bring their own things.
Yeah.
So, I started with one product actually.
Which
So,
was
I don't know if you know these braids, they're called expression. And because it has a very huge demand and it's not very expensive, it doesn't break your bank account. So
that is a
everyone
good point
could
even for the
afford.
guys, because guys usually
Yeah.
pay for that expression.
So we started with that. I started with that. Then in the long run, I'm like, someone else I think started also selling the same thing I was selling. So I'm like, it would be like a competition. So now let me expand. Let me grow.
Okay, wait. I need to do a recap here because now it's getting serious. Okay. All right. So you come from Zambia with hair you
Yeah.
bought with money your dad gave you.
Yeah.
It's a bit not so smooth in the beginning as you try to sell it, but you finally sell
Yeah.
it and you
Uh-huh.
take a break, right?
Yeah.
So during this
Yes.
break, your birthday comes up and you're thinking, I need to look fly. And to look fly, I need the flyest human hair in the market. So you start looking for something
Okay.
good for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So when you order this, I mean, you end up looking fly, and everybody starts asking, where did you get that hair, right?
Right.
And of course, like any other fly 20-year-old does, you think this is a business
Uh-huh.
opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And you order a big amount to start selling to your friends, and you advertise on social media and Facebook
Right.
and everywhere. But at this time, you're still in engineering school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a challenge actually. I remember. This was a challenge. Like this person is texting you while you're in class and you have to reply because she's your potential customer. You have to give them that rapid response. A client shouldn't wait maybe for a day or hours for them to actually get a response from you. And I felt like I wanted to give them the best customer service so that I would have that thing of where like I'm feeling like I'm in business, but I wasn't. You understand? Yeah.
And you were
So
alone at this time. Nobody was helping you. You were doing
no, no, no,
everything
no, no.
alone.
I was
Or
working by myself then. So the very year in September, that's when we established. Now I had a partner come on board because I knew that wow, this is going to get big. So I have a partner who is the co-founder of Midas Touch Network. That's the mother company. Then the Midas Touch Hair is just a baby of the mother company.
yes, as I found out as we're doing research, we do research and scour the internet with the people we're going to interview. And I have a list here of things that I have seen. From
Okay.
clothes and accessories and bags and
Yeah.
Herbalife and my goodness. So wait, let's not rush. Midas Touch, the name. Where does that name come from?
Okay. So the name Midas Touch is originated from Greek mythology. I don't know if you're familiar with the Greek mythology. So initially, it was like, for lack of a better term, I think it was actually a curse that this person had, that everything that they would touch would turn into
Turn to
gold.
gold.
Yeah. So for me, I felt like that was connected to how I wanted to express my brand. I felt like my clients should have the best merchandise. Like it should be golden. Like
Basically,
it
you
should.
get a client who was looking some way, and with your
Yeah.
product, you turn them into something spectacular, right?
No, when I was thinking of the name, I was thinking that actually when we were thinking, it wasn't just me alone. When we were thinking of the name, we wanted something that's going to be like, the name should explain the product even before you buy the product. You understand? Like if you were thinking of buying something from us, you already know from the name, from the shop name or from the company name that this thing is going to be so good. So yeah, so we thought of it. We put everything on paper, but now we didn't know how to start the social media rant. Like on social media, you have to be so loud to be heard. Like some people ignore, even some friends ignore. They would see you post something on your page or something knowledgeable, they wouldn't even put a like there.
I know those guys. I usually unfriend them. Like once I notice, I just unfriend you.
Yeah. So for some people, it was like you're now thinking, you're like, how do I start? Like, how do I start the social media noise? Like, how do I put myself there as a brand? Because now you have a name, you want to register your company, you want to be like, you want to stand on solid ground. I beg your pardon. So you want to actually start doing it. Like you've been thinking for years, and that was a year full of just thinking and planning, because of school and all that. When you're a student, it's not easy. It's not. But I thought of it like, if I wasn't a student, I would do more. But I still thought that it's okay for my level. Like, it's a level to another level. So we started finally in December. I think it was December or November. I don't remember. We finally started on Instagram. Now the problem was, what do we name it? How are people going to know we're in Russia? And because I wanted something that's not just Russia, it's international, because I figured out that I could ship to anywhere in the world, Yeah, so
this is something that you just happen to figure out. Like, these things come naturally to you. Yes?
For me, I think, because I like to research a lot concerning, like, because, like, this hair business, or rather, like, the beauty business in Zambia is, like, so common. I'm sure everywhere in the world it's very common. So, when you have somebody who you keep looking up to, like, you keep getting inspired, So this person does something and you're like, wow, I can also do that. Yeah. So
who's that person for you?
Actually,
or who are those people for you?
I have to mention this. So there's this lady, I think she has a shop in the UK. It's called Good Hair Limited. I actually used to closely follow them. These are two girls who are partners. And they have done so much. Wow. Like, they come from Nigeria. They have shops both in London and in, I think, Lagos. I'm not sure. And these are people who, they started from level 0. Everyone starts from somewhere. That's something that I also understood. And there's another lady from my country also. But for her, she didn't really... She was like me, like, she was here and there. She was everywhere, like, she wants to sell shoes, she wants to sell bags, she wants to sell hair, and all that. But what inspired me the most is she is actually full-time employed, but every time she gets, like, a break, she would travel for business. So, she would, like, be posting. She would travel to China. She would travel to Dubai just to have a constant supply. And she didn't have a shop then. It was just online, just social media, just Facebook, actually. So I decided to approach her one day. I'm like, how do you do it? She was like, actually, I'm full-time employed. It's not easy.
Wait,
the
you
challenge.
approached her how? On social media or back?
Yeah, on Facebook, actually. I wrote to her. I sent her a message. I'm like, how do you do this?
Wait, so how did that happen now? So how did you do that? You just woke up and just...
No, actually, the very day I was going through her Facebook profile. It's one of the... Actually, I was stalking her.
Oh, well, okay.
I was going through her Facebook profile and I'm like, wow, this girl, she's so young and she's getting it, I like such people. Like, you should actually post stuff on your social media that's, like, very inspiring to other people. You never know how it reaches out to them. So she was so young, yet she looked like she knew the hustle. She knew what she was into. So I decided,
Look, where I come from, when a story is too good, you have to do it in-house. You can't take all of it, because, like, when it's too good and you're taking all of it, it may not be so easy for you. So we have to divide this into part 2 is coming tomorrow. So tune in and you're going to know what happened when Natasha decided to reach out to this lady she was looking up to. So let's just go off this again. At this time, she's like 20, right? Like 19, 20. She has started a hair business, cosmetics business. She has upgraded from, that low level, I'm sorry for those people who use expression, but low level, beginner level expression stuff. and she has pimped it up a little bit. She has taken it to the next level, and she's shipping worldwide. I mean, how many of you are shipping worldwide? Personally, I'm trying with my wonderful team. We're trying to ship our podcast worldwide, but I'm way past 20. So she's doing all these things. She's still in school doing her engineering degree, and she's still a young lady, and you know how that is with Instagram and everything. People be DMing you all the time, people be writing you on WhatsApp and all that as a young, boss babe, and she's handling all of this. The next part of our interview was mind-blowing. I mean, it's like you think you've reached the maximum, and then she takes it to a next level, and the next and the next. You're going to hear it, all of it. We're not keeping anything back. You're going to hear all of it. So tomorrow, tune in. Anywhere you get your podcasts, will be there. You can check it out on our website, www.studententrepreneur.com/11, or on our Facebook page, or you can find the link on our Instagram in the description. See y'all tomorrow. Actually, I will not see you tomorrow, but you will listen to my voice tomorrow. Cheers.